I'm going to introduce to you Erin Beilharz, who is our next speaker. And Erin is the group sustainability, you're the managing director of the clean tech hub of the Lufthansa group, and which is a mouthful, but it's, and then I asked her, so what is the Lufthansa group? And she said, well, it's like 10, 11 airlines and 4 IT companies and some other companies and some maintenance stuff, and it's big. And Erin is involved in what we would define as the moonshot innovations, which is the big what-if questions, the big threats to your own company, perhaps even as it is today. So I want you all to give a very warm applause to Erin Beilharz, and I'm going to give you this one and take it away. Thank you.
Thank you, Arash. Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here and absolutely thrilled to be at a techno festival again, even though it hasn't really started yet, because I think the last time for me was about 20 years. I'm here today on behalf of Brussels Airlines, one of the sponsors of this event, and I have a role with Lufthansa, which is the parent company. So just that you understand, I'm representing all of the airlines that we have today. Think about long ago, before we were here, that people thought to themselves, I would like to fly. Now, this sounds very impossible, right? We don't have wings. We probably haven't invented the word aerodynamic yet. We just had this ambition and this vision. I say we, it wasn't me, but somebody did, some human did. And this turned into a obsession, probably, a grand vision, and it turned into chasing a dream with a lot of perseverance and developing technologies and trying to figure out how it is that we can build this. Now we have an aviation sector which is serving us all over the world and connecting people, cultures, and economies, and connecting all of the people here who've come in via air travel, or the people coming to Tomorrowland over the course of this weekend and last weekend. But basically it's about bringing different people together to be inspired by one another, to start this exponential growth of ideas, and to build something bigger than we alone can build. We have this in a digital world with our internet and our shared information, but we also have it when we join and come together. So we have, for me, a very positive view of technology, because in the past we have done absolutely admirable things, and this is something that we envisioned, we dreamed about it, and we've now seen it come to reality. I want to ask you to close your eyes for a second. I want you to dream about a future in which we have cheap, almost free, bounty of energy, limitless energy. We have energy flowing from wind. We are able to capture it from the sun. We are able to make new molecules to create all of the products that we currently have in abundance, but we have a clean abundance in the future. We are able to travel. We are able to make fuels out of molecules to power our aircraft, our ships, our entire global logistics. We're able to do construction with all of this abundance. We have a lot of abundance today, but this is clean abundance. This is utopia abundance. Can you picture this? I want you to picture, where are you in this world? What are you doing? What is your personal action and your personal contribution with your personal talents and your preferences and the things that you know how to do and your abilities? Open your eyes. This is the future that we want to build together. This is the future which has already started to being built, but we still have a lot of things to do. We have, at the moment, the Holocene position, right now. We have a set of environments that we have, and the climate that is supporting life on Earth and supporting all of us in the abundance that we currently know. But we have built this on an addiction to fossil fuels. This is something that we didn't know we were doing, but we were addicts. We're fossil fuel addicts, and we now have realized that this is unhealthy for us and that we need to quit cold turkey. It's not cold turkey, it's going to take a long time, but this is basically the problem. If you look at what we have a bunch of industries that all need to transform. We have the construction industry, we have the entire fuel industry supporting the global logistics and movements of people and things. The food industry, we have 60% of the entire global economy built on the backbone of fossil fuels. And these are all industries that need to be defossilized. And this is a future economy that needs to be built together. The good news is, though, that there was a study published, a large study published in 2015, which shows that 21 of the leading economies of our world have now figured out how to decouple the GDP with their carbon emissions. And this is good news because we have more and more different types of clean energy that we're inputting into our economies, but also that we've figured out how to create value in other ways. And this is a trend which is going to continue and is continuing. We have, in order to create this this view of the future where all of our current systems are still kind of existing in the comfort, we might have to pull back on many areas, but we need to come together more than anything with industry and society and government as well. For me, it is extremely important that we're able to understand one another and the different challenges and the different opportunities that each group in society faces, and also that we, as people, know what role we are able to fill in whichever space that we're occupying on this planet. So I occupy a corporate space. So here we have the aircraft, and this is the company now. And in my corporate space, we have a lot of challenges, but we do have the passengers on the one hand. We have our suppliers on the other hand, and we have this dynamic with them. We also, though, are working with governments to try and figure out what policies are going to be able to build this greener future where we're all able to continue to inhabit this planet. We have in aviation 5 major levers that we can basically pull to achieve a more sustainable aviation and even to come to net zero. If we talk about weight savings and aerodynamics, this is all ways to burn less fuel. So this is how we would reduce. Just changing our aircraft from the current aircraft which are available into the new ones which are new on the market reduces our footprint by up to 30% just by changing. They look the same today, but there's a savings of 30% roughly. This is easier said than done because to order that many aircraft and I think we would have to, for our group, deliver a new aircraft every 2 weeks, which is challenging considering the competitive market and how many aircraft are being built by Boeing and Airbus. But that is already representing a savings. So drag, weight, then you have the entire circular economy around all of the products inside. So if we're able to tip those away from fossil-based products into non-fossil-based, whether it's molecular designed plastic alternatives or wood products, that is another major lever. We have the retrofitting of aircraft to make them lighter. This is something we can also do. We have these future-based aircraft, which are coming, but they're further away than some of us might think or feel. The running of aircraft on hydrogen or on batteries, how does that work? This will come, but this is all not fully engineered yet and not certified. So it's really quite a whiles away. But we are working on how to implement all of this and how to put this into our system in a safe way, and that we're going to be able to service and fly these aircraft. How does this work? Our industry doesn't know yet. And the last one, which is the biggest lever and the most valuable technology that we currently have available, is this entire idea of new fuels, sustainable aviation fuels, e-fuels, power to liquid, that whole area. So currently we have e-fuels. Our sustainable aviation fuels basically are built on biogenic sources, so waste products from fields or forests. But in the future, and already currently with the scientific developments, we're starting to have demonstration refineries which are working on a molecular level. And this is what when we talk about e-fuels or power to liquid. We also have sunlight as a way to make fuel. This is an area in Germany, close to Bonn, and this is the first solar fuel plant in the world. This is basically a field of mirrors, if you can see, which is based moving on hydraulics to follow the sun and capturing a heat of 1,500 degrees, shining it into this big reactor here. And then there's a molecular process, a chemical process, which takes place to turn this carbon source, extreme heat and electrolyzed water, into a gas, which can then be liquefied into fuel to fuel our airplanes. This is absolutely brilliant because it's grid independent and it is proving a future-proof alternative to what we currently have, which is completely clean. The carbon for this can even be captured from the air. This has all been proven scientifically, and now the big issue is how to scale it, where to find the ambition to invest to bring it up to scale. The next thing that I would like to speak about, which happened right here down the road in Brussels, was the implementation last year of the first drops of sustainable aviation fuel into the NATO pipeline. The NATO pipeline is a system all over Europe, which is where all of the aircraft get their fuel in Europe, pretty much. So it's the bulk of it. And the first drops of sustainable aviation fuel, which before that was not able to be in our pipelines mixed with the regular kerosene, have gone in. This means that we have a tipping point, which means you can increase now up to 100% of the amount of sustainable aviation fuel that's mixing into the fossil fuel. So this is an absolutely brilliant, it's not a coup d'etat because it was done together with the government, but an initiative from Brussels Airlines, Brussels Airport, and NATO, and Neste, the fuel provider, as well as the EU government. So this is really, when we talk about collaboration, this is what we mean. You know, you are able to work on something all together. It's very hard. You have to put your back into it. You have to not quit when it's getting rough. But this is why we feel hopeful that when we collaborate, then we can understand what is the job to be done and make these incremental changes. And the third thing that I would like to talk about as a little example, I mentioned maybe before we have to be more efficient. If we're burning less fuel, we're already saving carbon emissions this way. Here we have kind of a little video that I took 2 days ago from Flight Radar, and this is the current European airspace. The European airspace is managed by humans. There are some underlying technologies, but this is not an automated situation. And you can see the congestion in here. And all of these aircrafts are moving, and they're all being managed by an air traffic controller. We've had a project called Single European Sky, CESAR, that we as Lufthansa Group and Brussels Airlines have been working with the government for the past 20 years, as have all of our competitors, to try and get this consolidated and get this underlying technology there to automate this. We have political problems with all of the member states where they want their sovereignty. This is a prime example of individual needs over the common good. If we would manage to fix this, we would have a kind of situation. Oh, I went too far. There was a nice, I don't know how to go back here. We would have a kind of situation like this. Oh, this was a video, pity, with the automated drones in Shenzhen flying around like a dragon. So if you automate the entire airspace over Europe, it wouldn't be flying so tight. You have a mathematical ellipsis around every aircraft for safety, but you are able to manage much more congestion, much more safety, and you're able to fly more efficiently from A to B because you don't have the human who's lacking the mathematical dimensions in the brain to be able to manage this complexity. If we would be able to do this, we will save 5 to 10% of our global emissions, or European emissions for aircraft. The last point that I wanted to mention here, we have, this was, the picture on the left is our booth at the Green Tech Festival in Berlin last month. And we have this lady, Amy van Balken, from Last Generation. Before I met her last month, we kind of always have this feeling, these are the people who are making me late for work. I'm getting stuck in a huge traffic jam. They're hanging off of bungee cords over the highways. They're gluing themselves to the pavement so our passengers can't reach the aircraft. These people are in the way. They're absolutely disruptive. They're annoying. They're on the wrong side of history. They are not. This young lady came and talked to us, and we exchanged about, her challenges and our challenges. My point, ladies and gentlemen, is that we are all on the same side. We all want the same future for our next generations, for our children, and we want to get there together. My petitum to you all is, what role do you want to play in the future? We need to have... I picked this topic a little bit because we're in the seat of European power here in Brussels, and I don't know how many of you, and I was also briefed that you would be young people getting into your careers. I think that some of you are my age, so not as young as I thought, but my petitum is, what role do you want to play in creating this new economy? Do you play a political role? Are you in a startup? Are you pushing the boundaries? Are you an activist in your own life? Are you an activist in your own company? I'm an activist in my own company. People hate me in my company. They say, what is she talking about? Why is she trying to push this? This is annoying. Be annoying. Hold people accountable. Think about what you can do in your lives to create this picture that we all want to see. Thank
you so much. Thank you.